Howdy, pilgrims. Hey, everyone. Click the link above to join. I'm just jumping on a little bit early here because I have so much time on my hands. I feel like, and I know this would probably hurt some people, maybe some people that, are very anti-80s. You were wounded in the 80s. You were hurt in the 80s. There was trauma in the 80s. But that song from the Styx, Too Much Time on My Hands. Now I know some of you guys right now you're going, wait. Did he just say Styx and Too Much Time? And isn't that like Illuminati and stuff like that? And maybe it is. I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna have a fun show today. It's gonna be so fun. That is actually. Yeah, that's a picture of me. That actually is a picture of me. I think that was actually, I'm going to tell you a little story. Give me a shout out. Can you guys hear me? Come on, show me some love. Give me thumbs up, stick out your tongue, roll your eyes. Doesn't really matter. Something to let me know that you're watching. Oh, yes. Hello, book family. I like that. Hello, book family. So let me tell you a little bit about this picture. How many of you guys want to hear? Let me see some hearts. I want to see hearts if you want me to tell you about this picture. I'm going to tell you guys about the picture. But I'm waiting for the love. Okay. I'm all about the affirmation, no love, that kind of stuff. Okay, here we go. I'm going to tell you anyway. I'm going to tell you about this picture. So you see, that's me on the right. That's not Krissy. That's me, the one on the right. And Krissy, the one on the left. So I'm the younger one here. So let me tell you a little bit about that picture specifically. So I was born in 72. And so there's that part. I was born in 72. That tells you a little bit about my parents. So, at that time, people were either getting saved in the Jesus movement, or they just kept doing, whatever drugs they were taking. And so that's when I was born. I was born at that time. So that tells you a little bit about, some of like my personality and things of that nature. But specifically, my poor mom, my poor mom. And I know some of you guys right now, I'm going to mute her, but I'm going to bring her in here. Not my mom, but my poor mom, she was teeny tiny. Okay. She was tall, but I mean, she's like, maybe like, I don't know, 95 pounds, soaking wet. She was a teeny tiny person. And so at that time, they didn't have like the whole ultrasound type stuff. Right. I was a large child. And so actually this picture that I'm showing you, I was actually born just like that. I was born with a full beard. At this point I was almost 4 foot tall and had a lot of hair. Okay. Joking about that part. I was a 10-pound baby. And my poor mom, they actually said, look, you might be having twins, because they didn't have like some of that technology with the ultrasounds and different things like that. Or maybe they did, but they couldn't afford it. I don't know. Anyway, long story short, my mom was so relieved, I guess. I mean, how relieved are you when you give birth to a 10-pound baby? I don't know. But she was really relieved that there was just one. Yeah, then she was one. And so anyway, so Krissy, you're here. We've got Tommy and Lisa. They are here. We're all here. We're one big happy family. How's everybody doing?
Hey guys.
Good. How are you? How's everything?
I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. I didn't add Tommy and Lisa to this because I don't know. I didn't want to abuse them too early in this process, but we'll get to that. We'll get there. Eventually, I'll totally be, doing stuff like switching their hair.
Yeah.
They've probably done that. Tommy and Lisa have probably switched that,
Yes.
But can we just, before we get started with our Q&A, can we just say a prayer for my mom, 10-pound baby, right? How many people do you know had a 10-pound baby?
I know a few, only a small handful, small collection.
Yeah. And they're probably on meds, they're very
patient people.
They're patient people. My mom probably, I think by the time I was like 3 months, she was wishing there was two to kind of just split up. I think because I got it all. You know, I don't know. I ate the other one. I don't know. Could be. But anyway.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I just
Friday.
know that Oh, am I delayed? Is my Wi-Fi delayed?
No, you look good.
It's not delayed. Okay, it's just delayed for me. All I know is I was minding my own business, and then I looked over and saw this face with this child there with the beard and the glasses, and I about lost it. I had
It's my baby
worship
picture. You're making fun of my baby picture?
It was a holy moment, and I
It was a holy
That was
moment.
the 1972 cut, though. That was good.
Yeah,
so
I had the hair, the flannel.
Bad News Bear type cut, you know? Like,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
that's a good
The
one.
original,
Where are you
Check it
wearing
out.
glasses? Where are you
the
wearing glasses?
original hipster, baby. The original hipster.
I can see that.
Right.
Yeah,
Just need coffee.
yeah. I've got one. I've got it. Yeah. So how's everybody doing? You guys ready? I hope we got some people ready.
Yes, we do.
Now here's the deal. We are actually so this is Tommy and Lisa. Everybody say hi, Tommy and Lisa.
Hi,
Okay,
Tom
so-
and Lisa.
Hey,
Everybody else, Krissy, not us.
I
Everybody
follow
else.
instructions. I was told to do something.
Okay. But everybody say hi to Tommy and Lisa. This is Tommy and Lisa. I think you guys met them last week. This is Tommy and Lisa Zakowski. Now they get very offended if you don't say it the right way. It's Zakowski. So make sure when you address them, it's Zakowski. We're going to be adding you guys to Q&A. I missed that because I missed that. You guys delayed just a little bit. But it's okay. It's okay. We're having it's just Friday fun.
Friday fun.
We're not going to pray for my mom anymore. But as you guys are coming on, we're taking some of Lisa's thoughts and ideas about making some not modifications, but evolving into some things that we want to do with the Q&A and with the show. And what we want to do is we want you guys start thinking about when you come on to this Q&A live, we want you to start actually getting into the habit of expecting to kind of pitch your book. So where you're going to take time, and Lisa had this idea yesterday. I thought it was brilliant. Where you're pitching your book, we really want to hear about your book. What are you writing? If you have you got technical things and questions about the club and different things like that, that's cool. Come on and let's talk about some of those stuff. But come on with the idea of really pitching your book to us and love God for words of knowledge, prophetic words, discernment, wisdom. There's that word, wisdom. Wisdom in what to do, why to do, how to do it, these types of things. And that just to really believe that as you're pitching your book and your idea and your concept and the dream about all of this, that in that moment, that God really begins to unlock things and give a lot of clarity at that very moment. So I know some of you are like, well, I saw now that I know that you ate your twin, I don't really know if I want you to be telling me, what's wisdom or not. But look, that was before Jesus. Okay. That was BC. So, you can tell, look at me. I do not look like a Christian. Now, Krissy looks like a Christian. She looks like a believer, but, in fact, she looks like she's a believer. She looks the part. And,
Thanks.
yeah.
I'm so glad.
That's a good thing for people to recognize, like, oh, that person has Jesus. That person doesn't.
Glory to God. Wow.
Yeah. So now I want to just say real quick, Mr. and Mrs. Zakowski, I don't know why, but you guys are like, your picture's really grainy. Krissy, is it grainy to you? Okay. So it's really grainy. Maybe just refresh your screen. Sometimes it's just going in and going out. Just check it out. But I'm really excited. It looks like we've got Charlene, and get ready, Charlene. I hope you're ready because Krissy's on the edge today. Charlene, you're going first because I don't think we've had Charlene in here, and I'm just going to bring. Okay, I'm going to bring Tommy and Lisa back. Oh, much better.
Is that better?
Yeah, much better.
That's good.
Okay, real quick, I'm going to bring a little bit of a. I don't want to use the word rebuke because that feels harsh, right? It's like, but okay, I'm going to bring a little loving father correction. So, we have like 325 plus people in this membership. And we're taking the time, and I realize some people are at work and things like that, but it's the same people over and over. So my question is where are you, and why aren't you engaging more in this process? And I know some of you are going to say, I'm at work. I get that. But we're literally streaming in here every single day. And you accepted the call and the challenge and the assignment. I'm not giving you the assignment. Krissy's not giving you the assignment. God gave you the assignment. And so I just want to encourage and really stand with you that don't let this thing go, to the wayside where now this becomes just a distraction. You really can spend just 15 to 20 minutes. I guarantee you, I'm like crazy busy and I know, and I can do it. And so this is not to, shame or anything like that, but I definitely want you to know how important it is to us that you get everything that you're supposed to get in this season. And so I want to also encourage you. One of the reasons that Krissy goofs off so much is to make you guys feel more relaxed as we do these. We want you to feel like this is a really safe place. And yes, we are recording, and we're going to put it all over the internet for everyone to see so that people can see the food in between your teeth. But this is a really, really, really safe place. Okay. Yes. And I will say this, that if we're at any time, I thought it wasn't a safe place, we would make the changes to make sure that it is a really safe place. So I want to encourage you to overcome distraction. I want to encourage you to overcome fear. I want to encourage you to run through the troop and leap over the wall that you feel like is in front of you. I'm not going anywhere. Krissy's not going anywhere. My wife, Teresa's not going anywhere. Tommy and Lisa Zakowski is not going anywhere. And there's people on this team that you don't even see and hear from yet. We've got other people. We've got Liz and Mary and Amar and Sarah and Melvin. Hi, Melvin and John. We've got all these people behind the scenes, and we're going to bat for you. We are going to bat for you. And when we say it's time, by golly, we mean it's time. So I just wanted to give you that little encouragement. So yeah, I just want to give you that encouragement. And so before we get started, I want to say hi to my co-host, Krissy. Hi, Krissy.
Well, hello. How are you?
Good. I got most of it out of my system. We didn't have a show yesterday, so that's what.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. We gotta remedy that for the future. It's all pent up. Yeah. Start putting up crazy images and pictures and.
Careful.
Hey, Lisa, it's you and not anybody else but you.
I would never do that. Not till next week.
Yes, I'm doing great. How are you this fine day?
I'm good.
Good. We're glad to be here. Yes, if you're not engaging on these things, you definitely should, you person that happens to catch this right now. And if any of you who are watching regularly, you happen to be engaging with someone else that you notice maybe isn't, encourage them. Hey, did you know you can be commenting? Did you know there's Q&As? You can actually be on a Q&A, help us cast that net and bring in the people, because we're not just doing this to do this. We're genuinely doing this because we want to bring y'all in close, and we want to help you unlock what's inside. So it's a real deal. We noticed when you're not paying attention.
Yeah. And it's life-changing when you step into a situation and that vulnerability and put yourself and ask those hard questions, and then position yourself to be pliable in that situation and scenario, because there is a real anointing that will break yokes and give clarity. And unlocking is not just a cute little word, right? It's actually something that takes place. It actually happens in people's hearts and in people's lives. But all right, Mr. and Mrs. Zukowski, how art thou this fine day?
We are fantastic.
We're great.
I just realized how heavily we're clashing with our different patterns today.
I love it.
That was the first thing I noticed. I was going to text one of you guys, please change, because it's really bugging me.
Change real quick.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I didn't notice it at all.
yeah, that's fine.
Plaid and stripe.
Awesome. You guys got black on, so it's like we weren't color coded. Lisa's partially color coded.
Yeah, I'm on brand today.
You are. Yeah. What's the matter, Tommy? Get it together.
I had to go somewhere, and I don't know. I apologize.
You're going to go play tennis? Is that what you're going to do? All right. Anyway, sorry. Okay, Mindy.
Now, does he know I got hurt playing tennis?
Yeah, he has a bad tennis story.
All right, we're going to bring
bad.
Mindy and Charlene on. I do see Mary from Michigan in the back office, but your device is not connected, so you might want to just check your Wi-Fi, all that. Mindy and Charlene, I'm giving you guys just a quick heads up so that if you need to check, in between your teeth, because if I see it, I'm going to kick you out. Love you, but it's unacceptable. You can't come on live TV with something in between your teeth. But I want to talk about something here really quickly. And actually, I'm going to bring in Mindy and Charlene. I'm going to go ahead and mute you, wonderful ladies. Thank you for being on, but you're coming on. Here we go. Thank you for being on. Hi, Charlene. Hi, Mindy. And look, if Tommy or Lisa do anything that embarrasses you, you can just drop from the conversation. But I want to talk really quickly about the club. Can you guys give me a couple of minutes? And then we're going to get right into the questions, because we're getting a lot of questions about the club and what it looks like and what it feels like. And so I just want to break it down so that it feels concrete, and it feels it doesn't feel like what is this and how is it different? I want to simplify it for you. Now, ultimately, it is our responsibility to make sure that as we are evolving and things are growing and new things are opening up, that we're the ones that are making it clear. It's not your responsibility. It's your responsibility to pay attention and to listen and all of those types of things, but it's our responsibility to make sure that it's really, really clear. So here's what the club is. I'm just going to break it down into really 3 very simple segments. And the third one really isn't something that you need to worry about too much or even be thinking about too much until you're really writing. Okay. So here, number 1, the Unlocking Your Book Club is still the mentoring course of $497 with the payment options, where you can purchase the mentoring course that has all 4 modules. Module number 1, the mentoring. Module number 2, the mechanics. Module number 3, the marketing. And then module number 4, which is really mentoring part 2, the ongoing support and mentoring. So you get all of the author marketing system and the community. That's number 1. The club is still the mentoring course for $497 with payment options. Some of you joined yesterday. Some of you joined this morning. Some of you joined in November. So that doesn't change. But then the second part is everything I just said, the mentoring course plus publishing. So it's the mentoring course of $497 with the payment options, all 4 modules, the author marketing system and the community. And then the second part is plus publishing. So it's just as simple as mentoring plus publishing. And we're starting that for less than to join that second level, excuse me, is less than $50. It's not $49.99, but pretty close. But it's less than $50 because it just sounds really cool to say that. And then it has a pay-as-you-go system in place. So when it's time to edit, in the biggest things that you're going to be doing with the publishing of your book is going to be editing, right? I don't want to say that the cover and the social proof and the marketing and the printing and all that is easy, but it's far more simple than the editing. That's the big kahuna. So the second part of the club is mentoring plus publishing. It's less than $50 a month to be in that level as a member. Publishing less than $50 a month, and then pay as you go. Pay as you go simply means when you hit those milestones, editing, your book cover design, the branding, the printing, all of the facets that make up the actual publishing and printing and distribution of your book. That is the pay as you go. So as you hit those milestones, you simply pay for that particular section. And I don't say this to toot our own horn, but there's nothing out there that exists like this. There's not a publisher that will do a pay as you go system. There's lots of self-publishing, and just for you to self-publish would cost you on your own anywhere between $2,000, $4,000, maybe $5,000 on average. And nobody's going to do a pay-as-you-go system. But then you're not going to get the mentoring, you're not going to get the support, you wouldn't get the community, and you certainly would not get an author marketing system, meaning a website dedicated specifically to that book. So that's the second part. And then here's the third part of the club. And this is actually VIP. Now, this is not something that we're launching that first week of March. This will be for those people a little bit later down the road where you've actually in the process of publishing, and you feel like you want extra attention, extra focus. It will be more than the, less than $50 a month. It'll be less than $100 a month. That VIP would be actually a private group in addition to this group. And it's a little bit more like hands-on mentoring. And it's really going to be geared for those people that are feeling that call to a lifestyle of writing, not just publishing 1 or 2 or even 3 books, but this is what I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing. I'm going to write content. I'm going to teach this content. I'm going to publish this content. And that'll be a VIP experience where you still get, number 1, the mentoring course. Number 2, you get the mentoring plus the publishing. But then number 3, that VIP is you're going to get a lot more hands-on where you're making an extra investment, and we're going to make extra investment too. And you're going to have a lot more exclusive content to us and to the mentors and to the marketing that we're going to be doing. So hopefully I made that clear. I want to make that just as simple as possible. I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over. And then just be patient with us as we're going to be putting up the website and putting all these things together. But I know that we're already getting emails and Facebook messages, and I know some people even will come on here. And if you want to talk about the club, you absolutely can. So let's get started. We're going to start with Charlene, unless Krissy or Tommy or Lisa Zakowski wanted to say anything about the club. Okay. No. So Charlene, I'm excited to have you here. We want to unlock your book. Where are you from?
Hello, everyone. Hi. I'm actually from New Zealand. It's very important you know that, but I do live in Australia.
Okay. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's Saturday morning here. It's only just got light.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm always looking at Australia time because I have a good friend that lives over there. So when I'm trying to text her, I'm always like, wait, what time is it there? What day is it? Well, we're really happy to have you with us.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
And I have a question for you.
Sure.
Why have we not been invited for an Unlocking Your Book barbecue at Charlene's place?
Anytime. Come on over.
Okay.
He'll be there. You better be careful. Me, I'm a little bit more practical, but he'll be there. Sorry, it needed to be said.
All right, go ahead, Charlene. What's your question for Krissy?
Okay, well, I was going to start with a complaint because
Do it,
I
please.
don't think anyone's done one of those yet.
It's good.
It's it's just you keep introducing us to these great mentors and ministries, and it's pretty amazing. And I'm only 2 months into the year, and I've completely blown my book budget.
Oh.
So I'm going to have to get another job to feed my habit or something.
Oh, no.
Because I can't stop. And
so what you're saying is you purchased their books? Is that what you're saying?
Keep buying books,
Okay.
and I have 10 months of the year to go. So
Oh no.
not a good start.
So I buy books almost like every day. So
I know, right? So I was pretty sure I wasn't going to speak just for myself in that, but there's probably others struggling with the same thing. So
Yeah. Well, Krissy will, because Krissy's more practical, she'll be issuing you a reimbursement. Just send her the receipts.
no, it's all good. It's been awesome.
Yeah. So that was your complaint, that you've blown your book budget?
Yeah, that's my complaint.
God love you, Charlene. I just decree increase on your book budget for 2020, that the Lord multiply it. He's got to at least double it. So
Amen.
there we go.
received that. All right. So, and I had a bit of a funny story, if I can share that instead, really, of a question. But so I have 2 seasons at work. One's crazy busy and one's pretty relaxed. So I've just entered into the quiet season, which is why I haven't been on or so active up till now, because I haven't really had the chance. So I'm excited to have a bit of a quiet season now, to be more involved. And I sort of felt like I'd been praying for, more people, my people, people like me who understand the book thing. And I thought, oh, well, I've got this community and I just need to be a bit more involved. So I already was hearing what you were just saying before, Jeremiah. But as we were entering my quieter season, my last weekend of work last weekend, and I just had this ridiculous motivation to spring clean my house. And I thought, like really full on motivation. I messaged my friend. I said, when you're about to give birth, like people do this nesting thing, right? And they just sort of get ready. And I said, I think I'm going to have a book baby, because I have this crazy motivation to spring clean my house. And the office was the last thing that I did. It's in the middle of the house, but it just happened to be the last room. And I felt like it was really significant, like the nursery or something. And so I just thought that was a bit of a funny thing, because everyone else is talking about their amazing encounters and downloads, and I've been reading the messages when I can, and I just, I spring cleaned my birthing suite. That is my preparation for my book. And so I've set up a little writing table in front of the window, and kind of getting all ready to get going on that. So
it's awesome.
Hey, good for you. I relate to that. That's exactly what the Lord has me do every time that I'm about to write a book. He says, get your house in order, clear out the clutter. And he means that literally, and he also means it like figuratively and spiritually and every otherly. But that's awesome. You are preparing. That's such good stewardship. Yeah. I believe that office to be an incubator for the message God has birthed inside you as you get that out. Yeah. Amen.
So my big struggle, and I was working a bit on it yesterday. So I've written a course, and while that's not really what I feel I'm to publish, it does feel like the foundation of everything moving forward. So that came out of my own sort of healing journey over the last sort of 4 years. And it's hard for me to see it in a book form, because it is so much of my own story, as not something practical, I think, for other people to present. And the other thing is, it's a very, it is, half of it is a creative time in creative expression, if that makes sense. So 6 sessions, and the second half of each session is a different creative aspect. So working with clay or painting or writing, or drawing. And I've curated like a soundtrack with songs based on the theme. So as people are doing this creative activity, you know, God's speaking to them about what, you know, whatever the theme was. And I've run it a couple of times last year, and, you know, God did some pretty amazing things on the people that were there. And so I feel like it's, you know, to keep running those as they are, with small groups. But when I was sort of praying about, you know, how, you know, is there a book as well? Like, what is this? And it just feels like there's lots of things. And so I'm kind of overwhelmed by all the different ideas that I have, in terms of, where this could go, and the community aspect of it, I suppose. So I'm not really sure where to begin, but the book idea, sorry, see, I'm all over the place. The book idea was more of a devotional, and like a 365-day devotional, which I'm pretty sure is God, because I wouldn't come up with something like that. So, but because my experience is not a bolt of lightning change of life like some people have had in their testimonies, mine has been a daily walk and a daily advance, I suppose. And so I felt like that was the purpose behind the 365 days, that every day it's just taking that time and have it, and it would follow the outline of the course that I've written, because I feel like that's the foundation, and moving forward from that. But every day there'd be a little creative activity, because I feel like that's an important part of my message. And people can spend 5 minutes, or they can spend an hour, you know, whatever time they have. So that's my thought on the book at this point. Sorry, I just threw all that out there.
Nope, that's exactly what this is all about, Charlene. That is why we do what we do. Like the idea here is we are sitting in our living room, right? And we're just hanging out, and we want to hear what it is God has put on the inside of you, and then we want to help navigate that process. So that's what this is. The Q&A live is like, it's a living room. So would you do something for me, for us? Would you just, if you could, in about 30 seconds, 60 seconds, could you walk me through, let's say I was your ideal customer, audience, ideal client, someone that would be purchasing your product, your course, and actually going through this. Would you just walk me through what would that experience be like, for someone like myself? What would it be like? Just walk me through it.
For the course?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've written it for Christians, because that's my experience, that for 30 years, you know, I'd been a Christian, but never felt like I had the power or the victory that everyone seemed to think that should be available to me. And so my heart is for Christians to develop a deeper connection with their Creator. And the art component of it is something that came out, again, of my personal experience. So I felt art, writing, everything for me was frivolous. So that's just the kind of long story, religious background of my experience and upbringing. And God sort of has released that. And there's this well of kind of creativity that's kind of come out of it. So the course is about helping people connect with their Creator. We are all created in His image, but we seem to forget that creative part, or so many people say, I'm not a creative person. And that's actually not true. So I believe that's a key element of the message that I have. So the course I have is in 6 bits. I'm trying to explain what that is. Sorry, Jeremiah, you're 30 seconds.
You're fine. You're good.
So the 6 elements are Identity, which is I've been created on purpose for a purpose, exactly as I'm meant to be. Reality, that God is truth. He is who he says he is, and I am who he says I am. Security, if he is for me, who can be against me? Vulnerability, and the vulner is in parentheses because it's when I am weak, he is strong. So it's about our ability in him. Diversity and the unique part that we each play. And the last one is value, which is not an itty, which all the others are, but that's kind of a special one because it's about I'm a priceless child of God. And for me, the lie of worthlessness was the big one. And it was funny when I first ran the course, I ran it with the first 4 sessions over a Friday night and a Saturday. And I thought, well, that fits nicely into that time frame. Maybe it's only 4 sessions, maybe that's all there is. And when I finished it and okay, Lord, what do I do with it now? And I felt like his words were finish it. And so I spent another 6 months writing the last 2, mainly the last one. And I think that's because that was where the most unfinished work was, still unfinished, I'm sure, in my life over that issue of value. And I know value, I'd named the course Priceless, hadn't said that, I don't think. The value statement and the creative, those are the 2 key kind of messages on my heart that we have, our identity and our value in God, but also that creative connection is so important. And merging those 2 is what I'm it merges well in the course, but how I communicate that for people who are scared of creativity or immediately back off when anyone mentions anything about creativity. I think that's kind of a barrier I'm trying to work through in my mind.
So you're helping people unlock their God-given creativity, and then you're helping them unlock their identity so that they can find that expression in whatever type of creative art. And it's not just a particular type of creativity or art. It's just unlocking that creativity. That's what I'm hearing with all of this. And you've broken this down into essentially 6 modules per se, or takeaways.
Yes, and the creativity is not about becoming a painter or becoming an artist. It's simply about, people who struggle and sit for 30 minutes being quiet with the Lord, sit and draw for 30 minutes. And, it's just a way of connecting with your creator that, I think people don't realize perhaps, that is part of who you are because we're made in his image. And so I think it's just a way of encouraging or unlocking that connection maybe for people. And it's not, like I say, it's not about being a good artist. It's just about expression. And I think, after I've done, speak my bit on the course and then people go and play with clay and they're thinking about, like God really talks to them and what they're doing and what they're seeing and what they're drawing and what they're writing or whatever in ways that, I think surprises people because it opens up something when you're working on that right side of your brain that perhaps they haven't experienced before. And it's been, it's quite profound. And that's certainly what I had found in my life when I started, weirdly painting, because I just felt compelled to, so that's kind of where it's come out for me.
Yeah. Well, I want Krissy and the Zakowskis to speak into this, anything they're seeing or hearing. But I definitely think one of the reasons that you were maybe questioning, is this a book or not, is because a book wouldn't be enough. I definitely think it's a book. But I see there's got to be a guide because this is more than just something that somebody, goes and gets on a shelf and reads. It's like you're very engaged with the people, the recipient of this. And, this could be where you're doing your own type of mentoring, your own type of coaching in your group, but you've got your book, you've got your guide, you've got a digital course. You could record these and turn it into this evergreen type of system. But I agree with everybody that all the people that are making comments. I don't know if you can see all the comments, but Kim and Janine and Crystal and Melisha and Linda and all of these people love the title Priceless, by the way. Priceless, unlocking your God-given creativity. But this just sounds awesome. But I think you're I think you've got a little bit of a teacher in you. Like you are able, and a teacher has the ability to help unlock and to unpack things in them, but also give them the vision and the dream to take it further as a teacher, and couple that with very practical things, like Krissy says, practical things that you can do that will take that dream and take that vision to the next level. So I like this a lot. I think this is really awesome. And I definitely think it's a book. I definitely think it's a guide. I definitely think you've got to have that digital aspect. People do need to see your face and they need to hear your voice, which, you know, that's not that difficult. Whatever you're streaming on right now, you could record each one of these sessions. You could record identity and reality and security. Can't read my hand. Vulnerability, diversity, and value. You could record all 6 of those. And here's just a thought. I don't know how much of the book or the guide that you've written, but maybe you actually do the teaching on video first, where you really hone in on identity and you unpack it for people in video and you teach it in this video context, or maybe you teach it in a group of people. And now you've got this 30-minute, 45-minute, maybe a 1-hour piece of content video, and you can transcribe it and then convert it and edit it into a chapter or a section or a segment of your book. So if you were to do your video course like that, identity, reality, security, vulnerability, man, I'm getting excited just saying those words, diversity and value. You taught it, then you could convert it into that guide, into that book. So those are just some thoughts and some ideas.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
Oh,
sorry.
No, go ahead. It was just a little delay. I know. Go ahead, Charlene.
I was just going to say, so that's what I've written. Essentially what I've written is as I speak it. So that's what I've written. This is my book so far, right? So that's my book handout. So I've done everything to do it live. So this is not that I read it when I say it, but I literally wrote it, as I would say it, not as note form. So it's it's big. And I've got my PowerPoint, slides and everything. So I've done everything to do the actual course, because obviously I've run that a couple of times now, and that developed from the first time to the second time. So, and that has been the thought that okay, well, that's a way of, because I like running it as a small group, because then people get to share, and it, again, it's that safe place thing. And I think when you're doing something creative, especially for people who don't normally, and that's a very weird place for them. It becomes a safe place. So that's just transferring that, like you can listen to this online or watch this video, but you need a bit of Play-Doh or clay or something so you can have a part of the exercise after. And, I've thought about, I could put my soundtracks on Spotify and people can access them that way, or, because that's part of it too. Like all those elements come together, and how that transfers broader than in the room that I can control is anything. But God's amazing. So
Sounds wonderful. So you would have an interactive experience with, what's your artistic thing that you do, clay?
Well, every session has a different element.
Unique.
Yeah.
And so you would help people really tap into that, even if they're not necessarily a painter or a sculptor. They get that hands-on experience to see how that helps become a catalyst to creativity and hearing the Lord.
And it really works best for people who aren't, because they don't then decide, how it should be.
You should connect with one of our fellow members, Renee. Shout out to Renee Mufeld. I always butcher her last name, but she's in our group. She's in the Unlocking Your group, and she does like a painting with God experience and things. and she's done it already, and it was powerful. But she's in here. So Renee, if you see this, comment to Charlene, and maybe you can just do Renee and tell her that she was mentioned. So, but she's doing stuff like that. That's amazing. I would love to hear what Tommy and Lisa have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's exciting too. And I'm seeing all the comments, and it looks like you have about 15 customers already, if not more. So, yeah, I think anytime you get to connect with people who are looking for deeper connection with God, talk to everybody is rather than selling your product, is Simone, sell your experience and your message. And for you, God led you through this journey to solve this problem where you're longing for this deeper connection. What is this encounter having? But I just feel like it's not really happening for me. That people are kind of like hearing something that was never, they've never experienced before. So, that's definitely going to be how you lead to talk about this. I say product because we do things that are sales and I guess secular and Christian things. So when I say product, I'm thinking selling in that regard. But I also had a thought that maybe you could do a really short kind of intro book that might be a good introduction, or something that you could give a kind of bring people, is just to really talk about the nature of God, the creative nature of God, and how we were designed to be creative, and really just shortly kind of lay out that truth. And it might be something that kind of gets people excited, where you can initially kind of get people and kind of stir the ideas, about God and who God is. And then from there, when you've gained people who are interested in that, then they would be a perfect pool of people to then go on in your course as kind of like the main product. So your little, maybe not necessarily a devotional, but just like the creative nature of God, or something like that.
Yeah.
As kind of like an introductory piece. Or I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah, I just think that you don't overthink. Like, I think that you're in this place of overthinking, and you just got to flow and let the prophetic flow in you. Because if you're looking for a particular outcome, that's where we get messed up. And then sometimes the outcome is not what God wanted in the first place. So the Bible says this, it says, don't despise small beginnings. So I encourage you to just flow and write, go after it. And then the last thing I'll say is just don't overthink. I think you're overthinking, and you're trying to really be strategic. But instead of, when you're overthinking, just shut yourself down and pray. Holy Spirit, show me what to do. Give me clarity. Give me revelation. Give me wisdom here, and then flow from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's good, Tommy, Lisa. Absolutely. Charlene, is that helpful?
Yeah, definitely. And I got like a little picture board by my desk, and every time I have an idea, I kind of throw it up there, trying not to do the overthinking thing. Like, oh, there's too many things, and and where do I begin?
Yeah.
Well, and now we know. So now this is what I love about this living room experience. I wish we really were in New Zealand. I'm sorry. You're not in New Zealand. You're in Australia, or you're from Australia.
From New Zealand in Australia.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, I wish we were all in somebody's backyard living room in New Zealand. But that's what's really cool about this, because now we have a little bit of an insight to who Charlene is and what God has put on the inside of you. And that's really cool as a community, that we really get to do life with you and watch this thing unfold. How cool is it going to be when you have that one sheet and you launch your course and you launch your group and things start to happen?
Yeah.
Very exciting. We're very excited for you.
Yeah, and I just want to speak into your life for a minute, because I just keep seeing this deep, deep well, and I see a bucket and the Lord just drawing from that well within. And when you said about not having a lightning bolt experience before, I immediately saw the well. The Lord showed me that well, and that your life is a well, a rich well that He can draw from, and that you're steady and you're one of His steady ones. And there's, you're a steady one, and don't underestimate the power of a steady one. That you bring a lightning bolt into the other people's lives that you go into through that steadiness, because that's so rare. And that's like, you're speaking of priceless, like that's you before the Lord. Like you are His priceless one, Charlene. And I feel that like with every fiber of my being, that the Lord looks at you and calls you priceless, because you're His steady one, His faithful one that He can draw out of you so that you can then pour into other people. So keep running your race marked out for you with perseverance. Eyes fixed on Jesus. He is the author. He is the finisher. He is the perfecter of faith. And you're doing a good job. You're doing a really good job.
That's good.
You.
We got your back, Charlene.
Yeah. You got my heart. Woo.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, that's great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Carry on.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on today and bringing your problem and your your complaint and your life. So
Yeah. And I'll close with this, with just with Charlene. All of you guys that are watching, whether you're watching live or you're watching later, or even if you watch it on the website inside your membership dashboard, when you see something like this in the community, where you see God unpacking and unlocking and giving clarity, and just a real sweet touch of the Lord on the different people that we have in this wonderful community, reach out to them. Go and comment and encourage and water and speak life and engage with their content. One of the reasons we opened up for you guys to start posting your content in the other group is so that you could get used to doing that, get used to publishing your content, but also encouraging other people. So I want to just encourage everyone to be an encourager as you see people stepping out there. And I want to thank everybody who's making comments. And there's a whole bunch of people, Charlene, right now that are just like, woohoo, we got this, we got you. So you have a tribe of people that believe in you and are thinking about you and praying for and hoping with you on this journey. You're not doing this alone.
Thank you.
All right.
God bless you. Thank you.
Enjoy your Australian brunch.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. We're going to go to Mindy now. And then Tammy, get ready. You're coming in too. You're going to get to just sit there and enjoy the process here. Let's see. Let me unmute Mindy. Mindy, how art thou?
Hey,
How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Good to see you. What do you got for us today, Mindy?
Well, I just listening to your talk with Charlene, I'm a little overwhelmed, to be honest. That was pretty powerful stuff. And, I had a chance to be on before, and I shared with you, a little bit about working on a devotional. And when Charlene was talking about the identity, that's really where my heart is. And you had asked her a question, Jeremiah, and I wrote it down, would you in about 30 seconds say, if you were the client and I was trying to tell you why I'm writing this, I would just say to you, that you are so loved by God, and He has given you His word so that you can know Him. And so when Charlene was speaking about the identity, we are in such an identity crisis. And so my heart in working on Genesis is so people can know Him and know who they are in Him, because He loves us so much. And it's powerful. And that's where my heart is. And I was sharing with you both the other day that in the process of doing this, God's also birthed another book in my heart on my own journey, and it's, I can't even really put it all in words, but I hope I've been writing it down. But thank you all so much. It's just powerful being in this group and being a part of a community and being able to, get to know people and comment on their work and their thoughts and to get feedback as well. And it's really special. It really is. It's hard to even put in words. I mean, I don't know you very well. I don't know a whole lot about you, but I have such love for you guys and for what you're doing for all of us and encouraging us to just be who God wants us to be and to get that out there. It really just helps to pump me up to do what I believe God called me to do years ago, so it's just kind of been sitting on the shelf. So anyway, I guess that's about it.
Well, thank you for coming on and
thanks for having me. I was surprised that you asked me to come on again.
Now, you know what?
Thank you.
You've just totally committed to, you're writing your devotional on Genesis,
yes.
And you're writing your book about your life's journey. And we heard it, and the many people that will watch this have heard it. And so now you've got yourself a whole bunch of cheerleaders and accountability partners.
Yeah, that's really where it's at. Believe me, that's what kind of gets the fire under you to keep going. So
we'll be looking out for those.
Yeah. All right.
Now, Mindy, are you posting any of your content now? Are you publishing like on social media or inside the group? Are you putting any of your content, curated content, out there right now?
I put a couple things in our group today, actually, a poem I had written, because I keep going through these little times, where a lot of the mentors are talking about, you have like these writer's blocks, and it's just hard to, I can tell when the Holy Spirit's given me words. I can tell when it's myself, and I really struggle when he's not helping me. And that does get a little discouraging, but to answer your question, yes, I did do that. And 4 years ago, I had started a daily reflections page on Facebook. And, about 3 weeks ago, I started my little 7-minute, that I do that. And as a matter of fact, I put a little post on there today and said, hey, if y'all are getting tired of my 7-minute stuff, I can just go to the devotional. And one of them wrote back and said, well, actually, I like that part better. So I was like, okay. So yes, I do post Monday through Friday on my Daily Reflections Facebook page, which is open to the public and anybody can join. So, that'd be great. Yeah, because it is encouraging.
And I found you in there, and you kind of got to go through there a little bit, but there she is. There's Mindy, her post for today, and she's got her whole little devotional in there, or the poem. I'm sorry, the poem. It's and then the very last end of it is, Lord help me to pray. So I want to say this to everybody who, if you're not doing the 7-minute challenge yet, where basically that means you're not writing yet. You have to write if you're going to be a writer, whether it's a devotional, a book, a class, a course, a guide, a Bible study. If you're going to be a copywriter, whatever it is, you have to. You don't just all of a sudden wake up and I'm a writer. So that's a place to just start at the 7-minute challenge, and then and then go up to 10 and 15 minutes and 30 or whatever that looks like for you. But get in the habit of writing every single day and then publishing without the overthinking of the editing. And some of you guys that you really got it down, you're like, okay, I know how to edit this. I'm not one of those people. I'm like, I misspell and grammar and run on sentences all the time, and I just don't think about it. Don't even worry about it. But you should be posting, just like Mindy. Go in there and post inside the community group. And I want to add this. So like if you have a Facebook page or you have another social media or a website or something like that, go ahead and put it in there. Put your website in there. Let people go to your page and engage with your content outside of the group as well. I'm thankful, Mindy, that you're here.
Thank you.
are arising to the challenge to do this because we need what you carry. We need what you have.
Well, we need what you have too, and we appreciate it. And just a little side note, I was a court reporter for almost 30 years. So, to put something out on social media unedited is just not in my blood. So.
I gotcha. Well, I was straight D's for a long time, so I got you there.
All right. Well, God bless you. Thank you so much. Love you too. God bless. Have a great weekend.
Bless you. See you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
I think Tommy is laughing at my straight D's. Are we
still going in and out? Are we good now?
A little bit.
On another computer. It might just be my computer, but I had straight F's. It's got thrown out of school. So
yeah, well, it's because you're a Yankees fan. That's why.
Yeah,
Yankees fan. Tammy. Okay, I'm super excited that Tammy. Yeah, thank you, Tammy. I'm so glad that you're here.
Hi, Tammy.
Hi. Am I unmuted now?
Yes. Because I see you interacting with people and all the time, but we haven't got a chance to have you on here. So tell us a little bit about you and like where you're from and if you are in New Zealand or not. I'm hoping.
I wish. No, I'm in Colorado, so I'm quite happy being in Colorado.
Okay, we're in Colorado.
Just north of Colorado Springs. It's called Monument, but it's basically Colorado Springs.
I know the place. My wife and I, many moons ago, went to a Wagner Leadership Institute there in Colorado Springs. Yeah. So we're familiar with it. It's beautiful.
It is.
It's beautiful up there.
Yeah. So I had to get over my fear. That's why I wasn't on here before.
What was your fear?
The fear of getting on live and all that, So
yes. Well, good for you. You did it. You conquered it. Here we are. And it's pretty easy, isn't it?
Yes, easier than I thought.
Good.
So about 4 or 5 years ago, God radically encountered me after I got saved when I was 19 out of a lot of really difficult things. And I just spent the next many years just loving God and serving him and being the ideal Christian until about 5 years ago. And God radically changed my life. And I realized that I had a lot of things that I believed in my soul that were very different than what I thought I believed. So the book that God's been putting in my heart is Soul Beliefs, uncovering what your soul really believes. And I mean, like I said, I was just the perfect, I don't know if this is politically correct nowadays, because they change things so much, what you're allowed to say, but basically I was a highly performing Christian. I loved God with all of my heart. I mean, I loved him and I was being used by him. I was working for him.
Yeah.
And I did not know that I had a lot of soul beliefs inside of my soul that were very contrary to what I actually thought. So that's what it is. It's about a journey to discover the hidden beliefs that are holding you back, preventing intimacy, and limiting breakthrough.
Wow.
That was my life. I mean, as much as I was crazy about God, I was limiting my breakthrough. I could not feel the intimacy that I so much craved to have with God until I had this encounter about 5 years ago. So my question is, a lot of it is about my testimony. And I feel like it's important to kind of pave the way and kind of describe what was happening, but I don't want to stay in the testimony part too much. So I've actually fully written the book. I'm on like maybe the last two paragraphs of the final chapter. But one thing that I was a little bit concerned about was I get about chapter 5 where it is all changed from telling my story to now incorporating it to what they can do. How can they uncover any soul beliefs that are in their hearts? And then what do you do once you've discovered a soul belief? And how do you prevent soul beliefs? Because what happened to me was I had spent the last 4 years going through this. And then about a year ago, I experienced something that then God showed me, how do you prevent the soul belief? Because it's the enemy trying to scar our soul. Yeah. And to come in and engrave and etch his lies on our soul. And a lot of times as Christians, we know what to say, we know the right thing to do and all that, and we're not honest with what's really going deep down inside. So I just didn't know if is there a certain point, I don't want to lose anybody by it being story, and then getting into the sharing and teaching part. And I know one of the mentors said, make sure you're giving them the good stuff in the beginning. But I almost feel like I need to build up. So I'm just not sure if there's a balance to that. I don't want it to be all about me.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking is there a hard rule about getting in? Like he said, make sure you're giving something along the way.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't really do that until about chapter 4, where I'm laying the foundation.
Yeah.
Is chapter 4 too long?
Yeah,
I know I have thoughts. I'll let Jeremiah share his thoughts.
Well, all I was going to say is, again, and we, Tommy just said this to somebody else that was on earlier about not overthinking, that process, especially while you are writing. But your story is going to be what draws people in and identifies who your ideal reader and your ideal audience is, and all of that. But every good book, every good movie, every good blog, every good article, anything that is media that is putting content out there with a message and a call to action always starts with a problem. That's what actually intrigues with someone and attaches and connects with someone to actually see that there is something that is at stake. There's a problem. Every good story that we read is about someone that has this massive problem that they have to overcome. And what you want to do in the beginning is you want to quickly identify that there is that problem and that there is a guide, which in this case is actually you, because the people that are reading your book and that are going to be consuming your content, they now are looking at you and looking at your story in that book as the person that's going to guide them through that problem. And so you're actually in this case, you're flipping the role and assisting them in being the hero of the story. So as you're writing the book, you're no longer the hero of the story. You're guiding them so that they can be the hero of their own story. You're going to help them win their race. You're going to help them slay their giant. You're going to help them overcome and get the breakthrough and get the victory. So as far as the logistics, if it should be, this chapter or this many words or this, that, or the other, I think it probably a little bit of it depends on, how big your chapters are, how many words it in, how long is it taking them. But definitely in the beginning, you want to quickly tell them what is the problem. And you quickly want to tell them what is at stake with this problem. If they overcome it, what if they don't overcome it, and that you are authorized, right? You have an authority to guide them to overcome and to that problem and win. So you want to do that very quickly, right? You're not giving them everything, but state the problem and why that you are an authority, and you are an authority in that particular subject, that particular problem, because you got the victory. And so you can help them guide. And that goes with anything. You want to do that. You want to do that in a blog. You want to do that on Facebook Live in 5 or 10 minutes. You want to do that in a book. You want to do it in a movie. You want to do it in anything quickly. What's the problem? What's at stake? And who is authorized to help me win my race in this case?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And you want to think of sort of your problem as your common thread throughout the entire book, like beginning, middle, end. You have the problem represented, but you also have the solution as a common thread, and they run parallel through every single chapter, beginning, middle, end. And then you have your story, your testimony, and you have scripture and the word of God, which is usually part of the solution, in your teaching. And so, you can, it's up to you how you want to write your book. It's like, it's between you and the Lord, how you want to do that. Some recommendation, I would just ask a bunch of questions is what I would do, but just some let me go back to my question. Was there a reason that you wanted to start with your story? Is that like a really personal, like you really strongly want to do it that way, or?
I was in the beginning, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely starting to rethink and go, God, do you want me to start to eliminate? Because it was what got me rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm starting to ask those very questions. Do I need to start? I shrank it down. I don't think it's terribly long, but I am starting to shrink it down. But I think in one degree, it is important to lay a foundation, but I am starting to wonder that same thing. Is it something that I need to kind of start to eliminate a little bit?
Mm-hmm. And you can tell your whole story, and you can tell as much of it as you want. And you don't have to overthink it. It's good to ask those questions. Those are the right questions to be asking. And you ask yourself that question. You ask the Lord that question. Getting the book out, just getting it out, getting it written is huge. You know, getting your story out, getting your testimony out. And as you write, you journey that process, and you go, oh, maybe, and then you start to, as you're telling your story, you start to see some of the problems and the issues that people might face. And you might go back through later as like a second draft and go, you know what, I'm going to move this actually to the very beginning, because I feel like this got fleshed out, because that's why not editing as you go is such a great thing, because you flesh out what you're really wanting to say. And then you can go back through and you can move things around. That's what a content editor is going to do. And you can do that yourself, you know, and you can move.
Ask you, not to interrupt you, but with you, if I go with you guys and you guys were to accept the manuscript and I present it in the way that I feel like right now it should be, would the editing part be you guys saying, you know, Tammy, maybe you need to consider moving this? Because this has not been fun, this moving stuff. It's not been fun. I mean, for days I was sitting there going, should I move that there? I'm so visual that I'm cutting things out and wiggling it around, because I'm like, should this be somewhere else? Would you guys do part of that as the editing?
Yeah. And I can definitely answer that. So the short answer is yes. And there's different levels that we'll offer with the editing. Because some people like me, you know, like literally need somebody to spell things correctly, dot the I, cross the T, those different types of things. But some people, what they're just needing is helping just rearrange. And I agree with Krissy. I think as you're finishing all of this book, you're going to be, now that you have written it, you'll know if you should go back and make some modifications in a few of those chapters, or as you're unpacking that story. But the short answer is yes. And we're going to have different levels of editing that will be available with the book publishing. And so if it's like, okay, I really am looking for, because we're functioning as a publisher, not just the educational part, but actually as your publisher, we're going to put our name on your book as well. We want it to be fantastico. So we're going to go through it. We're going to read it, and we will definitely make some recommendations. But the difference with this is, and not that there's anything wrong with this, a traditional publisher that you're getting a book deal through, they're going to make some really hard suggestions. And the reality is you're going to own this book. You get all of the royalties. You're the main advocate. So while we'll make some suggestions, we wouldn't be functioning from a perspective of forcing you to make certain changes. We want you to own it. We want you to write it, but coaching you, mentoring, giving suggestions and ideas, absolutely be that peripheral vision for you.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Krissy.
No, you're good. That is such a big question. Editing is huge. Everybody needs to have an editor, and to what degree is up to you, you know, in this scenario. So that's wonderful. And I'll be talking about this stuff in module 2 as well, because this is all part of the putting your book together. And I'm careful, because I never want to tell somebody, this is your baby. I don't want to tell you what to do, but I will give some of these very strong suggestions, ideas, like great, tried and true, you know, and just having worked with publishers and things like that. And just finished my second book and things, working on the third. In the traditional publishing environment, having worked with editors, I've actually edited manuscripts for major publishers before. Not my favorite thing though. I'll be just write the book. Don't get me over there. Totally different part of the brain. Woo. And stuff. But I have an appreciation for that process. I've done the proofreading, and I've done the big major substantive content edit where you're trying to move things around, and oh boy.
Yeah.
And that was challenging because it's like, this is somebody's baby. I don't want to move. They put this here for a reason. I don't want to move that, but that was what was being asked of me by the publisher. So I have that, I'm thankful for that experience because it lends well to be able to really help people in that writing process feel comfortable in tackling your book, structuring it, tips and tricks on how to do that to make it simplify.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think you just keep going, Tammy.
Keep going. Don't overthink. Just write it and let the Lord guide you. And that. So
yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
I can't wait.
You have somebody right behind me because I just want to tell you something real quick. But honestly, if there's somebody waiting,
go for it.
No, we're gonna bring Tommy and Lisa back in here in a minute. But Tammy, please, take your time.
I just want to tell you guys how I wasn't going to get emotional. How much it means to me that for the last 4 years, I have been in my basement weeping before God over this book. And I was convinced that I was abnormal. I was convinced as I looked at two people like Patricia King and Anna Warner, and I would seriously look at them and go, they just have this. I was thinking, God, I'm doing something wrong. This is coming easy for them. And to find out that I was actually doing the right thing by being down here in his presence and letting him birth this through me, I honestly, the devil had convinced me that I was the one that was abnormal. And so what you guys are doing, you have no idea what is happening in people's homes, in their basements, in their offices to get people unlocked. And it came at the right moment because I literally got to the last chapter and I was like, look at her on TV. She probably isn't like I'm struggling. I'm not cut out for this, And then bam, you guys came and I'm just so grateful because I could have lost what God has given me by, giving into that lie. So you guys are changing lives. You have no idea how many homes and people that you were going to come and help. So thanks a lot.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That means a lot to us. Tammy, you are our why. You are why we are doing what we are doing. And so it is really an honor. It's a privilege. Every day I'm just kind of pinching myself going, I can't believe I get to do this. So thank you so much, Tam. And just appreciate you and continue to applaud you and push you and do everything that we can and be your cheerleader through this whole process. Pom-poms and all. I can't wait to see Soul Beliefs.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, your book's going to be a look what the Lord has done kind of book. Look what the Lord can do kind of book, where your core testimony of writing it is that hanging out in the presence of God, contending for that to be the reality. That's my story too. Like snot puddles on the carpet. God, can this really be how books are written? Can this really be how, doors open? And it's just, yes, it really is that is the best way, because all glory to Jesus. And you have that story where it's all glory to Jesus. So
yes,
we're
happy for you. Way to go. Way to keep pressing in and not throwing in the towel. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you guys very much.
Wow.
Blessings. Have an awesome weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tammy, for making everybody cry. And we're going to get Tommy and I'm not crying, you're crying. Let's get Tommy and Lisa back in here. And I got a couple of questions from some folks. Hi, Tommy and Lisa Zukowski. Hey. Welcome back.
Hey, how are you doing?
Oh, you guys didn't swap shirts or nothing. Okay.
No, we swapped computers.
Okay,
That's
swap
better.
computers. That's muy bueno. We
Okay.
do have some, Crystal, great question. And then I also saw Mary had a question in there in the chat. Does unlocking your book publishing have content editors? The question or the answer is yes. C. Absolutely. That is that is going to happen. Everything that you need to publish your book will be part of the book publishing, the unlocking your book publishing. All of the editing, the printing, the graphics, the design, the branding. There'll be a few like extra upgrades, like for people that want some extra help with different types of things. But yes, we will be providing content editing. We will be making sure your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed and all of that. And then I saw in here, hold on, somebody had asked, oh, yes. Where to post your content. So a while back, we released the 7-minute challenge for anyone who hadn't really started writing yet as you're mentoring. So you can go into the website, log in at unlockingyourbook.com/login, and then you can go in and you can see the different Q&A sessions. And in one of those Q&A sessions, we did a short 15-minute activation on just writing for 7 minutes every single day, and then challenging you to write, not edit, and then publish, and getting into the habit of writing and publishing every single day. Now, if you are beyond the 7-minute challenge and you're already writing and you're already publishing, we want to see your work. Other people in the community want to see your work, and you should be posting all over social media. Don't wait to write the book. Get into the habit of publishing. And so you can go to facebook.com/groups /unlocking your book. And it's free, and you just post in there, and we approve your posts. And if your stuff doesn't get approved, it's probably because you're talking about people getting saved on different planets and stuff, which is probably happening. It's totally okay, but we just don't want to go there. But anyway, that's where you find it, Mary, and that's where you want to go to publish all. Any posts that you have, any of your 7-minute challenges, anything that you're writing, get feedback. People can give some thoughts, give some ideas, get some encouragement, and help you overcome the fear of publishing. Because obviously, if you're going to write, you need to publish as well. Any other questions? We're not going to be taking any more guests because it's almost 3:00 today. But be good maybe if we just want to chit chat here for a little while. If anybody has any questions, that's right. Facebook.com/groups /unlocking your book to post. Good to know. Any questions? Any other questions from our friends, our family, our followers? Okay, nothing.
He's looking.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't even have. I took Facebook off my phone. Okay, sorry, can't look at it.
Probably a good thing. Well, we could, if anybody, we could take the next 5 minutes or so, and just talk a little bit about publishing again, because we're like right here. And we are positioning ourselves here to help you through the whole process. And that's why we're adding the publishing part, and are still in module 1, mentoring, like you're still in the first week or still in the second week. So don't look at this or feel like, this is pressure to hurry up. That's not the idea here. But for those of you that you're ready to write this book, or you've already started writing. Some of you are a third of the way done, halfway done, you're almost done, 3/4 of the way done, and you're really ready to move right into that. This is going to be perfectly positioned for you to submit your manuscript and get it done, get it edited, get it published, and go through the process. So I do want to talk just a smidgen, and then, Mr. and Mrs. Zakowski, Reverend Dr. Krissy, feel free to jump in here. I want to just reiterate one more time about the club, just to remove any confusion what it is and what it's not. So unlocking your book, all we're doing is now we're launching the club membership. So those of you that are watching and listening and you're already a member, you purchased the Unlocking Your Book mentoring course. You purchased it for $497, or you set up a payment plan of the $497 mentoring course. That's the first layer, first tier of membership with us is the mentoring for $497 or via the payment options. It gives you all 4 modules of the mentoring course. It gives you the author marketing system where we give you a website. Hello. Did you hear that? We're giving you a website, a homepage, a blog, a sales page, so that you can actually, when you write and publish your book, you can also sell it yourself and offer it yourself and build your audience. And then inside the mentoring course, you also get the community. So that's tier 1. That's the first level. The second level is mentoring that I just mentioned, plus publishing. And what that is that is a monthly subscription fee to be part of the publishing group. It's less than $50 a month to be a member of Mentoring Plus Publishing. And then it has a pay-as-you-go system. So when you're ready to design your cover and create your branding and get editing and print your book and publish your book and distribute your book, and all of that is a pay-as-you-go when you hit those milestones. And then there's a little bit more mentoring involved and a little more interaction with that, because it's really geared to, I'm actually going to publish this book. So there are some more classes and more courses and more mentoring that is geared toward marketing and publishing. And then the third layer and the third tier, and this is highly segmented. This is really for people that are you're really saying, I'm going to spend the rest of my life writing and authoring and penning and publishing content. And that is a VIP level. It's less than $100, but there's even more exclusive relationship and interaction and mentoring that is geared to that lifestyle of writing and penning. So as we're kind of winding down mentoring module number 1, you guys are getting ready for module number 2. If you've been doing the daily lesson, if you haven't, don't worry about it, right? Just keep doing what you're doing. That's why we put every single one of the lessons on your website. You have access to it for the rest of your life. Let's see. I asked somebody, oh, that's a great question. When are we having a barbecue in your backyard? Man, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me, because I can flat out, I can grill. So it's the only thing I can do. Anything else, like I don't know about you, Tommy, but if it's my turn to cook, we're eating out. Except for when it's barbecue. So that's a
air fryer. I'm a good air fryer too.
Air fryer.
I don't understand air frying. I mean, isn't the concept of frying immersion in hot oil? Like, how is air frying?
Times are changing, Krissy.
I don't know how it works, but it's so
I
good.
make the best wings ever in an air fryer.
I don't get it. Get it.
Meat, only with meat.
Air frying. Air that fries. Wow.
It's something else.
Somebody asked if we have German speaking editors. Wiener Schnitzel. No,
Not yet.
Not yet.
We could refer if they really need a German editor.
Okay. And actually, these are good questions for Tommy and Lisa, because this is really their space. So what Tommy is saying is that if we had somebody with that was going to write it in German, then they would refer this out. They would figure it out. They would figure it out.
We could do Spanish, Portuguese, different, almost anything. It just comes down to if you're interested in doing something like that, that's such a great question. But we can definitely do it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right.
And someone asked the next week was the last week of this upcoming week of module 1. Is this the last week? That's what someone was just asking. I read that.
Yeah, this is the last week coming up, and then we got a little break. Yep, little break for people to catch up. Intermission, get some popcorn, catch up on on the lessons that they may be wanting to catch up on, get your notepad ready, and then we'll be jumping into module 2 that third week of March.
And go air fry. You give you a little time to do some
We'll
air frying.
we'll have lessons of air.
Yeah. Oh, and that reminds me. Good question. Thanks again, Crystal. We'll answer that. So for folks that are having like a hard time doing the lessons daily, we are going to be sometime mid third week of March. We're going to be putting all the lessons together in like a 3-day workshop. So for those of you that like signed up yesterday, or signed up this morning, or are watching this and you are signing up in the future. Wow, we're in the future. Signing up in the future, you'll also have access to the 3-day workshop. And all it does is takes all the lessons so that you could like do this, like start on a Friday night and then watch part of it Saturday morning and then a little bit Saturday after. Sunday afternoon, and be through all of the mentoring so that you can move right into the module, go right into the marketing, and go right into the publishing. Because as we finish these modules, the idea is come in, get mentored, write your book, and publish that puppy. Publish that puppy. That's where we're going. So, Crystal, where do we sign up on March 1st? We're going to, and this is for people that have air fryers only, but we're going to be, we're going to be putting up a website for you basically just to give us your contact information and say, yes, I want to be one of the people that gets published first. We have a limit of how many people, because we're not worried, but we think that there's going to be a lot of people signing up for the publishing, even people that haven't done the mentoring course. There are people that are like, I've already written my book and I need the marketing and I need the publishing. So we are going to limit it. So we're going to be putting up a website. We'll be sending out an email. We'll make an announcement that you can go in and you can just basically put down, secure your spot for the Unlocking Your Book Club, the monthly membership. People are still talking about the grill. I'm like, come on, guys. Gee whiz. I guess that's my fault. Krissy, anything to add?
What do I have to add? I had something and I lost it. You threw me off with the grill comment again. In the air fryer, I'm just all thinking about, and then there's that. And then there's that. Good gravy. Yeah, I lost what I had to add. I'm just and there's that. Did any of that help? No, it didn't. Other than I'm just excited to be doing this and happy to help people unlock their books and get those books going. I was still thinking on the German editing, all these things. Tommy, Lisa, you guys have something to add?
Yeah, I would just say go after this weekend, pray, seek the Lord, because I know that landing page is coming up and coming on this Sunday, and I'm really excited about it because so many of you are going to be blessed by this process. I've worked in publishing and I've even published books and I've ghostwritten books, and so has my wife. And a lot of times you don't get the process, like you're on your own, where here you're going to get a process, and think of an assembly line. We're going to take you point A to point B. So Tammy had mentioned, will we get in depth in editing? Of course we would. It's just the degree of the manuscript. So my encouragement, there's nothing like this. And I've been doing this for a long time. There's nothing like this. So this is and this is not just trying to sell you. You're already here.
You're already here.
I'm just excited that God is doing this. And my wife and I are honored. And I know Jeremiah and Krissy are honored. And we can't wait to start seeing some of your manuscripts, because that's just going to help us draw closer to the Lord. So I'm excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
Anything?
Yeah.
Well, I totally agree. I'm excited to read everybody's content. We're going to probably run out of our book budget buying your guys' books.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We're excited.
Yeah.
I know Jeremiah's been talking about, writing on social media, but really maybe he's not a prophetic act. Start posting on your social media
today. Start
talking about that you're writing a book. It's never too soon.
Yep.
You look at any authors, and I always encourage people do this to get a reference, because posting on social media, people always go, well, I don't want to post too much. I don't want, to annoy people. But you have to consider, like, a good chunk of people aren't going to see one post, so,
that's right.
So you can cross that off your list. And the only reason why social media is done wrong, why people think they're posting too much is if you're trying to sell your book over selling your story and your message. So just talk about how God's, use your message, talk about your testimony, talk about little bits and pieces of how he's worked in your life and how you're so excited to share it with the world. So start doing that stuff on social media so people know it's coming.
What's exciting is this is it right here. Be vulnerable. And a lot of times as Christians, we get fearful of social media. Am I going to do a live about this? So here's my challenge. Do 3 posts today about what God's doing in your life, whether it's a book or something else. And then this whole weekend, just post. And don't get consumed in how many people liked it or saw it. Get to the point where you're just flowing. Because if you go by the likes, you're going to miss it. Right. Just flow. And the last thing is this. I'm so excited to look at some of your posts today because I can see all your names. And I know Jeremiah and Krissy are. So this is just a great opportunity to get your message out there.
You know what?
We're watching you. We're like spies.
We're going to hunt you down.
And you know what? That's so. Oh, sorry, Krissy.
Well, you should. I just remembered what I was going to say, so you should go because you're tagging off of them.
You remembered what you were going to say? What were you going to say?
And it's getting close to when I have to pick my kids up from school. You gotta be nice. Just gotta give me grace here, people. I'm a mom of 2 small children, so
go ahead.
I was gonna say, just regarding you going to that website and putting your name in and reserving your slot. It's as simple as that. It doesn't commit you to anything. It reserves your spot. So if you're even teeny tiny little tiptoe into thinking I might want to do this, just reserve your slot. We're not going to go hunt you down if you
maybe.
Well, watch out. Some people might, but you can reserve it and just know peace of mind. Okay, I took that step of faith. I put my name on the list, and this is now between you and the Lord. And but keep your name on there. Don't take it off. And then as it gets closer and more's rolled out, you'll be able to know that you already took that step and got your name on the list.
And that's good. That's why one of the reasons that you're so good about this, Krissy, is circling back to some of those details. And so that's really important. So let me just explain what it means when you reserve it. Okay. So when you reserve it, it means you're saving a spot because we only have so many spots. And so when all those spots are filled, that means no one else can get in. So we're going to have a very small buffer because I've done this for a long time. And I know that people say, sign me up, or I'm going to do this, or I'm all in. And then they don't pull the trigger when it actually comes time to pull the trigger. So look, if you're not ready to pull that trigger, like actually pay the less than $50 a month fee and actually write your book and move forward into those things, then don't do it. Just wait. It's better to wait because we are super, super serious about this. And if you're second guessing a little bit of it, then it's okay. Don't feel any kind of pressure. It's totally okay. So what'll happen is you're just going to save your spot. You're not going to have to make a payment. You're not going to, or anything like that, or even start just to say, yes, I want my name on the list. And then when we open this up about mid to the 3rd week of March to actually open up the membership, you're only going to have a 48-hour window. So that's what's going to happen in that 2nd to 3rd week of March. We'll send out, okay, you saved your spot. Now here it is. And you need to be prepared to close on that membership, less than $50 to get started on your membership. So anyway, so just to clarify that's why I said, we're not going to chase you down, but we definitely want you to be really serious about it. And we want you to be, because we don't want you to waste your time. We don't want you to waste your energy or waste your money.
And Jeremiah, you're going to send them out an email and they're going to be able to get that spot saved by tomorrow or Sunday, correct?
It would be by Sunday. Sunday.
Just clarifying. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm. Leap year.
That's right. It's someone's birthday. They can finally celebrate.
Somebody can have a birthday. I could only have one every 4 years.
That'd be awesome.
All right.
Fantastic. This is good. Well, we appreciate you guys. So awesome. Wonderful.
Why?
You know it.
You're
You
dancing.
know it.
These two is dancing.
Yeah, that's a good little song.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's
It's a good.
It's groovy.
I like it.
Yeah,
Groovy.
you're
No
welcome.
comment.
You're welcome.
No comment.
You learned that word in the
Yeah.
70s.
72, groovy. The Brady Bunch, actually.
Yeah. Groovy, man. Super groovy. Sorry for all of you that were not born in the 70s. Krissy
I was
and
born
Lisa.
in the 70s, so you're good, bro.
Yeah.
I was not born in the 70s.
Jesus was born in the 70s. But anyway, Andy was born in September. But hey, we love you. We appreciate you. Thanks so much for everyone joining us today on Friday Q&A Live. Now, just put on your calendar, there is no Friday Q&A Live next week. We will not be having a Friday Q&A Live, but we will be picking up back up the next week because I'm actually out of town. Jackson Brown. I'm going to be with Dr. Brian Simmons at the Joy event in Wichita. So we love you. Appreciate you. Thank you, Tommy and Lisa. Thank you, Chris. Everybody have a wonderful day in the neighborhood.
It's a
Boom.
beautiful day in the neighborhood. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.